Guys, let's have a look at the new content that we have in here. Unit number 6 is called danger. So let's see the objectives for today's class. Number 1 says discuss about different dangerous situations. Number 2 says identify the main and secondary ideas of a text called 4 ways to save your life. And finally, and this is the most important one, number 3 says recognize examples of conditional sentences in a text. In parentheses, it says if, or in Spanish, si, right? In this case, let me explain you by showing you that picture. And Ariana says conditional comes from the word condition, okay? And if you need a condition, you need also a result in this case. She says, if I'm hungry, for example, if I'm hungry, in my personal case, I eat a sandwich, okay? Which is a little bit obvious, but it is for you to give you an example of how to make conditional sentences. This is just the beginning of the unit, all right? But before that, to talk about this, we are going to do like the typical activities that we do at school when we introduce a new content. In this case, we are going to use the book for real or the handout in the platform, okay? Let me show you this. We are going to do the typical reading activities, identifying examples, and so on, okay? So let's go back. Warm up 1A, it says, read the headings in the article on page 35 and answer these 2 questions. What is the meaning of a heading? In this case, look at the text. The headings of this text are drowning, house fire, being crushed in a crowd, and lightning. All right, so there you go. That answers question number 1 because it says, what situations does the article mention? I have already given you the answer for that. Number 2 says, do you know what to do in any of these situations? For example, in my book, it says, in a storm, do not touch metal, right? It is like a very obvious advice, but it is examples of this, because remember the topic, 4 ways to save your life. What are you going to do? Before reading the text, look at the 4 links from YouTube that I leave you in here and also on the platform, so you can see examples of these situations before you read them, all right? For example, it says in drowning, ISR, infant swimming recourse. Be careful, I'm not going to show you a child get drowning, right? You are going to see absolutely the opposite in this case. In the case of house fire, I'm leaving you a very beautiful YouTube video, which is from the book A Dog's Purpose, right? Being crushed in a crowd, it says Hillsborough's disaster, right? So be careful with that video. And lightning, there is an example of a football match in South Africa. So it is optional to watch these videos. If you can do it, please do it. Then, read the text, as always, and you are going to do exercise number 2. Answer these questions. You can listen to the text by using the audio that I leave in the platform, right? So you can practice the pronunciation of this text. Once you answer all the questions from 1 to number 6, be careful, try to use complete answers. That means subject, a verb, and the rest of the sentence, okay? Write them in your copybooks, please, or do it in your book, whatever you want, but please do the activities. After that, people, these are the most important activities for today. Number 1 says, in the text, circle the sentences using if, in Spanish, si, right? As soon as, when, and unless. For example, in my text, I'd identify this example. Not very good special effects, but it says, don't try to swim ashore if you are more than 100 meters away from the coast. There you have the first example. Number 2 says, what is the meaning of those words? I mean, as soon as, when, and unless. Please use a dictionary to look for those definitions. And number 3, it says, what is a conditional sentence? I have given you some previous information, the example of Ariana Grande, right? But to get introduced into this, I could say that conditionals are a very important content in this part, in this year. What is the reason? Because we have 4 different types of conditionals. And in this unit, we are going to see zero conditional, and in parentheses, it says conditional plus imperative, which is like a subcategory of zero conditional. And we are going to see first conditional this year. Next year, we are going to see second and third conditional. So this is a very important topic for you guys, okay? So once you do all your activities, you can rest and you can sleep. All right, so see you next week. Bye.